It's not how clubs work.
First of all.
Oh, Anna. If we went to a club, first off, we wouldn't.
First of all, like, I wouldn't go to a club. It's not my scene. Second of all, if I did go to a club and some DJ pulled this bullshit, I would be out the door.
Out the door. So fast.
5, 6, 7, 8.
There's no business like show business.
Maria.
Mamma mia, here I go again. My mind.
Of the music of
The point is, I really wish I could have a glass of wine while we discuss this.
Yeah. I mean, you can.
So let's see how I feel at the halfway point.
Yeah, maybe we'll each go and get a glass of wine for the dramaturgy.
Hello!
Hello!
No attempt at a
There is no
That's the
segue.
word I want. Segue. There was no attempt at a segue. Hello! Welcome back, dear listeners, new listeners, old listeners, intrepid heroes, to 5678, a movie musical podcast. The podcast where we review and recap movie musicals. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. If you're a frequent listener, welcome back. And while you're at it, we would appreciate any reviews or stars that you have to offer.
Throw us into a star.
Throw us into... all right, I'm Anna.
I'm Grace.
And this is the best way we could possibly start off this week's infamous film from 2001.
Wow.
Starring Mariah Carey.
Mm-hmm.
The one, the only, Glitter.
Oh, boy. Oh, man. Oh, wow.
This was a film.
It exists. Though several people say it shouldn't.
I will never get this hour and 44 minutes back.
It took longer than an hour 44 for me because I keep pausing to take
Well,
notes.
it's because I was pausing to take notes, but like, you're right, it was probably closer to 2. I will never get those 2 hours back.
Nope.
Grace and I both, at about the hour mark, had to start drinking.
We each
Separately.
sent each other a video of us pouring wine.
Yeah. And it was at I don't know what scene it was, but it was around the hour mark where we were like, there's 44 minutes left of this. Absolutely not.
I think it was like whenever he had the stupid irrelevant scene of him like rehearsing in his apartment.
Probably.
That just was to show off that he could drum, and then there was no point to that scene.
This is a film that I have gripes about.
I had a hard time finding a moment of joy.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. I was going through that. But you know what? We're getting ahead of ourselves.
As per usual.
Yeah. Let's just dive into this.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen this. You hadn't seen this.
No, I'd never seen this.
But I knew the lore of Glitter.
It felt... I was hoping it would be like Burlesque, in which, like, not a great movie overall, but you really enjoy the numbers. Like, the numbers of Burlesque were super fun to watch. This was not a joy to watch.
This film starts in a dark nightclub.
In sepia tone.
So you know it's a flashback. If we ever had merchandise, that's what I would put on one piece of merchandise. It's in sepia, so you know it's a flashback. We start in a dark nightclub. A female singer is introduced. She comes on stage. Her name is Lillian Frank. She's a great singer. The crowd likes her.
Yeah, why not? I mean, it's just like a bar.
It's not a packed bar.
No. We also see what we are to assume is her daughter sitting at the bar. Lillian is drunk and forgets
Is she
the
drunk?
lyrics.
I couldn't...
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, is
Yeah,
that what she Oh, sorry. I do need to preface that definitely the first... Yeah, just this first scene. We didn't say this before. This film is available...
on YouTube!
Yeah, I watched... So this film is available on Hulu and Amazon, but it's the premium subscription, which you have to pay more for, and I wasn't going to up my subscription for this movie. So I found it on YouTube, but the first version of it I found on YouTube was so pixelated that I couldn't really tell in this first scene of like whether she was drunk or not until she went for her glass. And then I switched to another uploaded version of this film with more pixels for the rest of the film. But yeah, Lillian's preteen daughter Billy is sitting at the bar watching, and Lillian invites her daughter up on stage.
As a way to sort of get her out of her mess. She's forgotten the lyrics, and someone
Yeah.
from the crowd calls, like, drunk again. And so she calls her daughter up, and they do a hot mess of a duet. It's not good.
No, it's not good. The girl is a great little Mariah Carey,
Yeah,
but
but the duet isn't good.
cut to later, Lillian and Billy, pretty much like immediately afterwards, are outside of
Yeah.
a nice townhouse in
Fancy house.
unknown city. For the record, Lillian is an African-American singer.
Mhm.
Lillian and Billy go to this townhouse. A white guy opens the door.
Mm-hmm.
We very quickly learn that this is Billy's father. He and Lillian are clearly not together anymore. He does not want her there. She says that she lost her job and she can't even feed Billy now. So he gives them cash, but he very much doesn't seem to want any responsibility, anything to do with them.
So, back at their place, they have a piano, which is wild. Lillian is asleep on the couch with a lit cigarette, to which point I was like, danger! But then Billy helps her stub it out, but then we just get another scene of her smoking and falling asleep, so it felt like, why did we repeat this?
Yeah, so first we see them in the apartment. Lillian has fallen asleep on the couch. Billy, her daughter, takes the lit cigarette from her hand, stubs it out.
Yep.
We get a little montage of like lots of awards and articles of Lillian's success. We get the feeling that Lillian could have been a big deal and was kind of a big deal at one point, but has clearly fallen on hard times. Just as you said, at some point in the night, Lillian woke up, lit another cigarette, and fell back asleep, and gasped, the apartment is ablaze.
That poor piano. And also there's like these weird whiteout transitions that happen.
The
Wasn't
transitions
sure what that was
in this
about.
film. Oh boy, I can't wait to talk about the club scene.
Oh boy. So Billy is then taken away by a social worker, and she suddenly has a kitten. Not sure where this kitten came from, but it was my favorite part. That's my moment of joy!
The cat!
The cat!
Oh, I feel bad for that poor fucking cat. But yeah,
That poor
Billy is
cat.
taken into the car of another woman. She's assumedly put into foster care because Lillian has been deemed an unfit mother. And Lillian says to Billy's face, I'll come back for you someday.
Yeah.
We next see Billy at foster care. Two girls come up and befriend her. They are Louise and Roxanne. And we have a quick montage of the girls getting closer and becoming friends and getting interested in music.
Yeah.
And then we jump ahead.
Cut to
10 years.
1983.
Yeah, Billy is grown up. She is Mariah Carey now.
Yes, she
And
is.
she is a dancer, singer at a club. Everyone in this club is in leopard print.
It's 1983. I don't know what themes were at that point.
At one point, I forgot that this film was set in 1983.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. Like, there was one line later where Billy had a comment of, like, in the 80s, and I was like, this isn't I didn't think it was modern day, but I thought it was, like,
2000s.
This came out in 2001.
Yeah,
I was
so
like,
late 90s.
yeah, you could have told me this was late 90s, and I absolutely would have believed you.
Absolutely.
Regardless, Billy is a singer-dancer at this club.
Along with her friends, Louise and Roxy. Oh no,
And-
suddenly, enter in with wannabe Dreamgirl vibes, Terrance Howard.
Through the crowd comes Terrance Howard and
Mhm.
Padma Lakshmi.
I know.
Cut to backstage. Terrance Howard's character's name is Timothy Walker.
Mhm.
He comes backstage. He compliments Roxanne, Louise, and Billy.
Yep.
Padma Lakshmi is with him.
Yeah.
And he asks if they sing and they dance. And he asks if they want to be in a girl group.
Yeah.
Louise and Roxanne instantly on board.
So
They're
on
like, oh
board.
yeah, I do the choreography.
She does the costumes.
Yeah. Billy says, actually, we're actually kind of doing our own thing and we're too busy right now.
Yeah.
The assumption is Padma Lakshmi is the singer and they would be her backup singers.
Yeah. And somehow Billy is in charge of this group and just gets to make the hands down decision. Don't know why. But later on, her and the girls are walking down the street and they're asking, how can you say no to someone like Timothy Walker?
They're giving her a hard time for saying no. I thought you were
Right.
about to say Timothy Chalamet because it's the only
Oh
Timothy.
boy, can you imagine?
Yeah, they give her a hard time for saying no. And Louise makes a comment of like, you have such great singing abilities from your mom. And Billy's like, why would, like, it's really
Don't bring
mad
up
at
my
me. Like, why would you
mom."
bring up my mom? The
Yeah.
acting.
Oh
The
boy.
writing.
The writing, the
film.
cinematography. So,
ultimately Billy reluctantly agrees, and we cut to a recording studio. And so Padma Lakshmi's character's name is Silk, spelled with a Y.
Of course.
And
it's the 80s.
She can't sing.
Like, and it's not even like she's an average singer. She is actually bad at singing. Like, off pitch and doesn't know it. Like, has no depth to voice. Like, it's not just like, oh, she's like an average singer and then there's gonna be Mariah Carey singing as her backup. No, she's genuinely god-awful. And she's wearing this onesie that's like community theater version of Cats just threw up on her. It is wild. The costumes.
The costumes. The film.
So, Timothy is out in the recording studio, and he is, like, trying to figure out how to spin this so that Silk actually sounds good. So he stops them and has them all start singing again, and he tells the tech to turn down Silk's mic and to turn up Billy's.
He also has Billy sing the main line. Billy was singing backup. He was like, hey, Billy, just for this one, sing the main line. Yeah. Silk, Padma Lakshmi's character, is also singing the main line and is unaware at this point that it's Billy's vocals.
So she has to know
2 gripes
later. Yeah,
2 gripes. Mariah Carey can't really lip sync very well, at least at this point.
Oh, I was shocked.
And secondly, I really like Padma Lakshmi, and she deserved way better than this film.
Yeah, that is fair. We
also get the implication that Timothy and Silk are together.
Yes.
Yeah, that was kind of implied, but like he blows her a kiss in the recording booth when she still thinks she's singing.
Oh boy.
Cut to another weirdly costumed club with a white DJ.
Oh boy, and this DJ doesn't, like, the music doesn't sound like it's DJ'd. He just scratches a record and ruins a record. This was my gripe, was all of, like, the scratching of the record, one, was not reflected in the music played. There was no, like, whatever. And what accent does he have? This was... Where is he from? Is he from Boston?
I don't know. Don't pull threads of this very shaky sweater.
I would call this more of like a tea cloth than a sweater.
It's just a very loose knit, like, poncho.
There's not even any arms.
Poncho.
It's just a square. No. Put it through your head.
We zoom in on this DJ, this white DJ, and another guy comes up and delivers a tape, and it's Silk's new single to debut. And at first I thought he was gonna, like, just play the song, but then actually it's the backing track because Silk is gonna perform. Or actually, no, it's the full single, and they're just lip syncing on stage
to their own
Silk
song.
Comes out with the 3 girls, Roxanne, Louise, and Billy, and does the song, and the costumes, again, the 3 backup girls are in these, like, awful, like, sexy sports outfit, like, with, like, visors. It's it's, like, really weirdly sexual dances.
Yeah.
We cut to backstage after the performance. A photographer wants to take a photo of all 4 of them.
Yep.
And Silk, Padma Lakshmi did what she could with the writing, but it was just like, oh, you don't need them, they don't matter. And, like, lifts her boa in her arms to, like, block their faces.
Right, and so the other girls are, like, over it, and so they decide to leave. And as they're walking out, Billy starts singing the song so that she's sort of throwing in her face, like, yeah, like, maybe we're the backup, but I have the voice, and so...
Yeah, and that wasn't you singing.
Right.
The DJ witnesses this, and...
runs after her.
Chase after Billy, not the other girls, chase after Billy.
And he asks, why are you letting Timothy use your voice for Silk's?
You know what he says?
What?
He says Timothy is ghosting her. Like, that was what ghosting meant in 2001.
L.
Using her vocals for someone else. And he says that you shouldn't let Timothy do that. You've got this great voice. I wrote, is this flirting? ?
Yeah, I didn't understand their entire vibe. Their chemistry was non-existent.
He introduces himself
as Dice.
His name is Dice.
Like, I hate
Dice.
Weird.
And she's like, oh, I've heard a lot about you, like, bad things. And then he takes her. I thought he was like, I'm gonna come show you something. And then he just goes to his DJ booth and leaves her on the main floor.
Yeah.
And
then he puts on this beat, and he, like, is like, oh, we're gonna do, like, a freestyle thing, like, I'm just gonna let this beat play, and then I'm gonna go into the crowd, and if you have a verse, or if you have, like, a song you want to sing to this beat... It's not how clubs work.
That's not how it... First of all...
Oh, Anna, if we went to a club, first off, we wouldn't.
First of all, like, I wouldn't go to a club in New York. It's not my scene. Second of all, if I did go to a club and some DJ pulled this bullshit, I would be out the door.
Out the door. So fast. This is reminiscent to me of the forced karaoke in High School Musical. Of just like, absolutely fucking not. Gotta go.
I would rather die.
Yes. So a few people do verses, and he ends up in suddenly slow-mo, weird, blurred background, strong but wrong. He goes towards Billy and like points at her and gives her the mic.
Across the room, and there's wind chimes in the background blurs. And this is the first point where I wrote like, I need alcohol.
It was so weird.
Time slows down. And she sings her little bit, and like it's Mariah Carey. She's like a great singer. But you wouldn't have been fucking able to hear those whistle tones over the bass.
Nope. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
And then there's a very brief moment of like we see like actually that's the thing. It's not brief.
It's not brief.
We see Roxanne and Louise like bumping and like dancing to support her, and that clip goes on for way too long.
Yeah. So it was like, you know how like you're filming something and like the director just needs background stuff, and it's just like just keep going until I yell cut, and then they'll choose one clip of it that they would like,
or they'll like fade that
like,
into something else.
Yeah, but the clip was like 20 seconds long of just these two friends like bopping in a club, and not like good dancing, just like bopping.
All right, I'm gonna tell you something that's you're gonna be mad. First off, that happens a lot in this film, and I know you know that, where like there were just a couple things where I'm like, that didn't need to, I didn't need to see that for that long.
Nope.
You want to know what the original runtime of the original cut of this film was?
I know what it is. It's one of my fun facts.
Then, oh fuck, that was my singular fun fact.
I know it was my only one. I found one other one.
I'm gonna say
there was no fun.
I'm gonna say it now. This film was initially 2.5 hours. It comes in at an hour 44, and
it could have been a tight 90.
It could have been less.
It could have been a short.
Oh my god, this is going to be such a long episode.
So Dice takes her outside.
But yeah, Billy and Dice walk outside, and she has the sense to call Dice out on his bullshit games.
He tells her that he wants to produce her and is like, oh, like, we can get you to Madison Square Garden, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I'll take care of everything.
Uh-huh. Trust no man that says that. She says, I already have a contract with Timothy, and I'm already working with him, and he's like, I'll take care of it. And so she agrees, and he asks for how he can reach her, and she says, figure it out, and walks away. What? No.
She smiles and explodes into glitter.
That also happens.
That is the transition to the next scene.
And it never happens again! Oh. Okay. Dice goes back inside, finds Timothy.
And there's so many slow-mos in this fucking film. But yeah, Dice, I'm assuming this is like a different part of the same club, or just like a different club, but Dice finds Timothy at a different bar, and he says he wants the girls, being Billy, Louise, and Roxanne. Timothy says he doesn't want to do it. Dice essentially says, like, well, if you don't do this, you won't get to perform any of your acts at my club. Assuming Dice owns this club?
Wild.
Or has, like, any managerial say?
I mean, maybe he does. He has a nice-ass big apartment, so...
No, I'm sorry. No, just because a character has a nice apartment in a film set in New York does not mean they are actually, like... This is just, like, a New York gripe where I'm like, you couldn't fucking afford that apartment.
No! Are you shitting me?
Yeah, so... Okay, granted, it was the 80s, but... That doesn't, I'm just gonna say, his apartment doesn't mean anything.
That's fair. It was the only way that I could explain his apartment.
But anyway, Timothy says, alright, Dice implies that, like, Timothy has a coke habit that's expensive.
Yeah.
And Timothy says, fine, you know what? I will give you the girls for $100,000.
Yeah.
And Dice is like, you're joking, right? And Terrance Howard is not joking.
He does not joke in this movie. No jokes on this man. Eventually, Dice agrees and says $100,000. cut to a recording studio. He's showing them a beat or a background track that he made, and Billy likes it, and then cut to her recording it, and then cut to her performing it. It was just like 1, 2, 3.
Montage of like them performing, and the venue's getting like a little bit bigger every time, and the budget seems to be getting a little bit bigger. Dice wears only leather in this film.
Cannot. And can Mariah Carey not smile with teeth?
I mean, she's doing it on the movie poster.
Yeah, but it's not the hill that I'm going to die on. But
if I start talking about Mariah Carey, I will not be able to stop, and this podcast will be too long. I wonder if we're going to get any, like, Mariah Carey super fans, like, giving us hate mail on this podcast.
Fucking fight me.
Did you know that her fan base are called lamblings? Like, she calls them lambs. So they're, the lamely, like a family.
Oh my god.
Maybe we're going to have some lamely coming after us.
I love the collective names for fans. Like, Pine Nuts for Chris Pine, and the Cumberbitches.
Cumberbitches.
Hiddlestoners, my favorite one.
What is?
Beehive is always great.
Does Chris Hemsworth have one?
I don't think so. Not that I know.
I bet he does.
I bet
but
he.
You know what?
I mean,
that's not this film.
Yeah, that's fine. If we can find a musical with Chris Hemsworth, I will be very excited.
All right, that's my new goal. All right,
great.
Cut to a different club lounge.
Yeah.
Billy and Dice are sitting at on one of those like upper lounges, and they're approached by a guy asking if Billy is signed to a label. He introduces his friend who's an agent. Billy's like, starts to talk, and Dice kind of cuts her off. This is gonna be a theme. Cuts her off, talks over her, and says like, we're just keeping our options open.
Yeah, you can tell the guy that he's talking to is in the music industry because he has a shirt with records on it.
I didn't catch that. Oh no.
It is just covered with records.
God, there is no subtlety.
None at all.
Beating you over the head. These guys walk away. The record shirt guy walks away. Billy is not happy, and Dice is like, we can aim higher. Another club that's in a church this time.
Sure.
Dice and Billy arrive. He goes to say hi to another DJ. The DJ says to Dice, hey, Guy Richardson is here.
He's from CMZ, which is like one of the top tier record labels.
Dice gives this DJ a cassette tape so she can play Billy's song. And again, this is me forgetting that this was set in 83 and not 1999 or whatever. But I was like, why?
Because it's 83. That one makes so much sense.
Because it's 83.
Yeah.
All right. The DJ technology, I don't understand how DJ turntables work.
How do you DJ?
It seemed so
How does one disc jockey?
I knew this film was dated because in the description they described Dice as a disc jockey, and I don't think anyone's been called a disc jockey since the 80s. 7.
Yeah.
Anyway, Dice gives this other DJ the cassette tapes. He's like, so you can play the song.
Right. So then they go upstairs and they find the producer from CMZ, and he introduces himself and Billy, and he's like, oh, and like, do you like this song? This is her. And the producer is like, well, she's an attractive lady who can apparently sing. And so he invites them both to come to his office tomorrow. And Dice gives the producer a copy, a cassette tape of the single as well. So we cut to the next day. They show up at a corporate office. Because there were 2 producer guys, and I never knew what the names were.
No, one of them was named Jack, and the other was named,
Guy?
Yeah, the other guy was named Jack, just because I kept calling Dice Jack.
Because of burlesque?
Yes. And also, Dice is not his God-given name. No. He has a real name.
It's Julian.
It's Julian. It starts with a J. What can I say?
So they show up to the office. They talked to the 2 guys that were there last night, and they played the demo to everyone, and they loved it, and so they introduce everyone around, and God, it's like, the plot is so choppy, and she shows no emotion, that, like, I'm not excited for her, because she's not excited.
No, okay. This is such a weirdly short scene, and I feel like either things were left on the cutting room floor, but Billy and Dice make their way to see Guy Richardson, the agent, but the other agent, Jack, is like, oh, he's not here, he's in LA, but we played the song for everyone, and everyone loves it, and they toast with champagne, and there's no contract signed.
No.
But I have to feel that Guy Richardson physically not being there might have been part of a scene later.
That was cut from the 2.5 hour long version. So cut to her apartment.
which of course she shares with Louise and Roxanne, because those two poor actors, their characters were so written into boxes that they only existed to support the main character.
Yes. I did write at one point, it's like, wow, they are very supportive friends and have absolutely no say in, like, their relationship.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the girls are helping her get ready. She keeps insisting that it's not a date, but they're like, it's a date!
Yeah, and you know why it's a date? Because he rolls up to their apartment in what looks like a
white
Hummer
limousine.
limo, and he's holding a single red rose.
Yeah.
So it's a date.
It's a date.
And
they go to a very fancy restaurant.
A very fancy restaurant, and he's like wearing like a short sleeve button down shirt. We also figure out like this is a place he's brought many girls on dates, and Billy asks about the rose, and she's like, "What is this a date?" And he's like, "No, it's not a date. I like hanging out with you." And they cheers with their champagne.
And they have a weird plate of snails, which did not look like snails.
No, she's like, "What is?" "Oh, I've never had escargot." Yeah.
It's like escargot, and I'm like, "What is your accent?"
Well, I will say the actor's British.
Is he? That?
Yeah.
Okay. I can accept the accent more knowing that he is not originally American, and it actually makes a lot more sense that it's a British guy pretending to be American. That tracks way more in my mind. So, anyway, they're in the limo.
He takes her back to his place.
He invites her up to his place, and she says no. Smart.
And
then he tells her to quit being paranoid. And ladies, let me tell you, if a man ever tells you to quit being paranoid, you should absolutely be paranoid.
But she agrees, but she's like, I'm literally only going up for 5 minutes. He's like, I want to show you my bachelor pad.
My marimba.
Wait. Oh my god. Sorry, my brain just short-circuited. A marimba? What did you say?
That's the weird, like, xylophone instrument.
Oh, okay, hold on. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Hold on. His bachelor pad is all red and black. It is so tacky.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Wants to be industrial, but it's not clean enough. It just looks, because it's all silver as opposed to, like, white. And so it just looks dirty.
But yeah, he shows her his cool xylophone. You know, the sexiest instrument.
Oh boy. And she kisses him. She does initiate, which only makes this slightly better.
And it works. He plays the marimba or whatever it is, and
oh yes, the sexiest
she
instrument.
Totally
the marimba.
It works. She makes eyes at him, and then we get another slow-mo of the kiss.
Yeah.
Cut to a sex scene through a glass door.
Now,
classic 2001
I
film.
will say, it's at this point where Wikipedia says they have passionate sex. And I want to know who wrote that. Because if this is their version of passionate, I have questions.
First off, this is going to be more R-rated than our usual episodes. Who would have thought it would glitter? But for the record, like, there is no sex scene.
No.
Through not a clear glass door, like a frosted glass door, opaque, we see not even a nude, just like I thought I saw some underwear going like lying onto a bed, and then cut to post-sex.
Yeah, there is no sex scene. We don't see anything being
There was only the implication of passionate?
Yeah, there was no passion.
That's so funny.
Her song is over top of this scene that happens. And this happens a lot, and this is one of my biggest gripes, is the weird, expositional but not 8 bars of her singing, which don't resolve either musically or conceptually.
Listen, this is gonna fuck us up for continuity, but we are now 40 minutes into recording this episode, and I have not named a single song that was performed in this.
No.
Because none of them were memorable.
No.
We're gonna say this later, but I'm gonna say it now. This is not a movie musical. This is a movie with music.
Yeah.
And I know solely from having to do dramaturgy, I'm like, that song was called Loverboy. I could not tell you a single memorable lyric or a single memorable song, except for the horribly cheesy last one.
Oh my god. We'll get to the last one.
But yeah.
Because I have thoughts about the last one.
All right. After sex.
Yes.
She doesn't seem super happy.
No.
And she says, like, I don't normally do this. And he says, I can tell.
Rude.
And then he says he's joking and that she's special. It's
weird.
I didn't like it.
She says that she has trouble trusting people, and I'm like, yeah, go with that.
Side note, is the limo driver still downstairs?
I don't know, but we have our waiter later on, and I'll get to him. Our version of a waiter.
There were so many unnecessarily, like, shots of the Chrysler building in this
There were
film.
so many just shots of, like, quick shots of New York, just to
I get
reestablish
it.
where we are.
I never saw characters getting on planes. I know we're still in New
Yeah,
York.
exactly. Cut to a recording studio. They're showing a new song to the label people, and he goes in to give her notes, and his note is, "Sing like you. Thanks." Very helpful.
This is the beginning of the body paint.
I noticed.
Era.
She has a stripe of silver body paint in almost every scene, and I don't know why.
Yeah, it's like from shoulder to like
It's like on her collarbone,
bicep.
and then sometimes it's on her bicep. It's so weird.
Yeah, listen, I was not around in the 80s, so I'm not gonna sit here and judge the choices.
Listen, we
but,
all went through a body glitter phase. I don't know what to tell you, but
I never went through. I wanted to, and I never did.
I definitely had those Bath and Body Works, like, roll-on body glitter.
I wanted to do that, and then I was too tame for body glitter.
Anna, that should go on your tombstone.
I was gonna say,
Here
that's
she
my
lies,
epitaph.
too tame for body glitter.
Too tame for body glitter. I need to be drinking. This is also the beginning of the side ponytail era.
Oh, God. So, this is when we cut to them in a cab, and her song comes on.
They're in Chinatown,
Yeah.
they're in a cab, Dice and Billy are in the backseat canoodling.
And so Dice tells the driver to turn it up. And then he decides to stop traffic and get out of this car and start dancing in a street. This cabbie is our waiter of this movie. This poor man is just trying to do his job, and this dumbass decides to mess with his radio. Don't touch a man's radio, and then dance in the street? Absolutely not.
Every film has either goons or a waiter or both.
Or both. Goons, gangsters, and waiters.
Billy also gets out of the cab, and she hijacks a payphone from a child.
A legitimate
and
child.
calls her home to talk to Roxanne or Louise. Being like, Mom, my song's on the radio. And the kid hears this, being like, oh, are you famous? Like,
I can't.
so stupid. We get another slow-mo hug of Billy and Dice celebrating, and then glitter falls from the sky onto Billy,
With
and
a
we're suddenly in a
blowout.
music video shoot.
Music video, yeah. The director
of
French?
this shoot says some very offensive things that I will not repeat.
No.
I thought he was German.
I couldn't tell if he was Russian, French, or German. It was one of the three. I know they're all very different, but it was really indistinguishable. So, the director is incredibly offensive, and it's obvious that Billy is not really comfortable. They have her in a really skimpy outfit and is not comfortable, but her girls are with her and as her backup dancers. The director at one point wants to get rid of Roxy and Louise, and Dice isn't happy about it, but the label guy ends up convincing him. And so he goes to tell Billy. Billy isn't thrilled about it. She's also not thrilled that the costume designer and the director want her to be in what is essentially just a bikini for the shoot. Dice goes to the director and he's like, listen, I'm concerned that this isn't the right direction, and the director just sort of brushes him off. So Billy also gets introduced to her new publicist,
Kelly,
who like breathlessly goes through their schedule.
we get the sense that like the pace of Billy's life is like really picking up now. And then we move into what the director wants to do for the video. He gets rid of Roxy and Louise. We have 4, I thought they were cavemen dancers, but I think they're just supposed to be flames.
Yeah,
like
but
they
just
have
with, like,
body paint.
Yeah, but not good body paint, just like stripes of red on their chest.
Billy is obviously uncomfortable. These men are just gyrating all over her because that's what the director wants.
Also, there's just like a scrim behind them, and that's it. It's really low budget.
Yeah. And Dice can see how uncomfortable she is, so ultimately he like pulls her off the set, and the music producer and the director get like super mad at him, but he's like, no, like we're not standing for this. And at first, I thought this was good. It's gonna come back later and be bad.
Yeah.
But the next time we see Billy, she's walking through Soho with Roxy and Louise, and she's apologizing that they've been officially cut out of her performances, at least for that music video. She hopes to get them in for next one, and she has the company credit card, so she takes them on a shopping spree.
We skipped a scene. Back at their apartment, basically, Billy confronts Dice about why he pulled them off, and he says they have to learn that they can't treat you that way, which, like, is a good thing, and she's like, but I don't want to get a bad reputation. This is my first music video. And so he says that he'll call them and fix it. Also, I don't know if you noticed, but in that scene, his button-down shirt only had the top 2 buttons buttoned. So it was like the reverse of what you would expect.
Don't pull at the threads of this very shaky sweater. We cut to the recording studio. The publicist is there having like a little mini meeting about wanting to change Billy's look, get her out of her streetwear clothes, get her a little more sophisticated. We have some prints from the video, the only kind of like salvageable stuff that they got since they walked off. And Dice makes the first of several disparaging comments that the photos from the shoot make Billy look like a porn star.
Yep. And he's just sort of storms off and goes to have a smoke, and, you know, the publicist and Billy are like, no, I think she looks good.
The publicist manages him pretty well. She's like, well, that's why I'm here, and I'm taking over, and it's my job to conceptualize Billy's new look. Yes. So, like, you can keep your opinions to yourself.
Thank you, goodbye.
And the reason I bring that up is that Dice makes it seem like it's Billy's fault that she was put in a bikini.
Yeah.
Or, like, that was her decision when it was definitely the decision of, like, many people, and he had to sign off on it. Yeah. But he makes it very much all her fault. Yeah. So he has a hard time, and he has a hard time relinquishing control, and he goes outside the booth, still inside, to smoke a cigarette, and then from the shadows,
dun, dun,
Timothy
dun.
emerges.
So they have a chat.
I wouldn't call that a chat.
Yeah. Timothy says, you know, oh, you don't look happy, and reminds him that it can always be worse. He's like, I'm here with Silk to record. Let me go show you what your money bought. And nothing has changed. Apparently, Dice has not paid Timothy the money that he owes him. So Dice then calls their deal bullshit and says that he's not going to pay him. And Terrance Howard's face is scarily calm when he says that.
Cut back to Dice's loft. Billy leads him in with her hand over his eyes. She says, yet another side ponytail. And surprise, surprise, she got him an electric piano.
That is also what I called it, but it's a keyboard.
Oh, that's the word.
I also wrote electric piano when I could not remember the word until later on.
It's a keyboard.
It's a keyboard.
And I guess in 83, that was a great gift.
Even though he has a real-ass piano behind him.
He does. He's a music producer. But he's like got all the bells and whistles where you can like change the tones, and I'm just gonna assume that was like cutting edge for 83.
Yeah. This
is also why I kept calling Dice Jack. He sounds like Jack Kelly, where he's like, nobody's ever bought me anything before.
That's very, very fair. So he then starts weirdly babbling and eventually asks her to move in with him, and she says okay, but he just keeps talking over her, trying to convince her, and she's like, I said okay.
He's like, do you come with the piano?
It's so weird. I can't put this fucking accent.
Later, Billy has officially moved in. She's looking through some papers, and there are so many candles lit in the background of this scene. Candles. And she found a box of her mom's stuff, and she's sad.
He does a big comfort.
And she tells Dice about a recurring dream she's been having about reuniting with her mom. Later, she sits sadly at the new piano, looking at photos of her mom and writing songs. And this is the first... Did we get the idea that she was the writer of the group before?
I don't know if
in
it was
that scene with the girls in the dressing room.
I don't think so.
I didn't know that she wrote songs until this point, but I might have just missed that detail.
That's fair.
And Dice comes in even later, and she might have been writing music all night. Yeah. She's missing her mom.
And the song is called Reflections of Your Love. I don't know. It's not important.
Listen, I looked up the lyrics of this because I was like, maybe this will be good for the teaser. First off, I don't remember hearing any of those words when I saw this. Second of all, it is the worst lyrics.
It's so much.
It's bad.
Okay, so cut to an office. Billy's at a social service lady's office, and she's trying to find her mom, but the records sort of stop 10 years ago and don't show where she is now, and so the lady says that she'll keep looking, and Billy is upset.
Cut next to the same recording studio. Guy and Jack, the two recording studio goons, have come by the studio to check on Dice and Billy.
They are goons.
And they put the pressure on her that she has a hot single right now, that Loverboy song, but they're like, you should finish this album and get it out there while you still have traction.
Because your single is no longer at the number one spot, so you're losing momentum.
It just got bumped down.
They tell her that there's a lot of other great producers out there, and she should think about working with someone other than Dice, which So Dice just got home from a meeting that apparently didn't go well, and it was a meeting with the label, and they didn't like any of the songs that Dice and Billy had produced together. They were like, it all sounds the same, and her song that she had wrote, the Reflections of Your Love song, they were like, oh, it's too woe is me, this is the 80s, everyone just wants to dance, and they want her to work with other producers. Gotta dance!
Just gotta dance.
And
Billy's
she
like,
doesn't
I
want
don't
to.
want to work with other producers. But he's like, well, we'll do the next album, you
Yeah.
and me, kid.
And he says, get popular on this album, do the pop music, do the dance music just to get you popular, and then with the next album we can do whatever we want to do.
Next, we learn that Billy got booked to perform at the U.S. Music Awards, which is
big deal.
A made-up event,
Yeah.
but
I'm assuming it's the version of like the VMAs.
she doesn't seem super excited about that, and she's more
This
focused
is a
on
consistent theme.
she wants the publicist to call Dice, but this is a waiter moment where she's like, yeah, I'll do that. I have other things to do that are more important than calling your boyfriend.
Yeah. This is where I started drinking.
We get a quick shot of Dice rehearsing his own music in his loft.
Useless
and mansplains drumming
to another drummer.
Unnecessary.
Yeah, this is when I stopped.
Yeah,
and
to
went and
another drummer.
I cannot. And also the drumming that he was doing, I am not a drummer, I do not know. But it did not seem particularly complicated or intense.
Backstage at the theater for rehearsal, Billy is waiting to go on, and she listens to the act before her, whose name is Raphael. He is
Though we don't know this until 30 minutes later.
I know that because I had it on IMDb, but a gorgeous voiced R&B
oh my God,
singer.
His voice is so good.
Then they swap places, and she goes out to sing her song, and he watches her go by and kind of like makes
bites
eyes
his lip.
at her.
He bites his lip.
It is so over the top. And then she rehearses, and her mic is like boob level.
Yeah.
Like the mic is so low.
So weird. Anyway, we cut to the actual night. They've done the performance. We don't see it. She and Dice are coming out afterwards, and like the reporters are getting pictures of her, and they're like, "Oh, can we have a picture of you alone?" And so like Dice like grumpily moves to the side, and a reporter like tries to ask her a few questions, and like she's starting to answer, and Dice just like grabs her and hurries her off.
They go to the after party. There's a really stupid scene of Louise and Roxy figuring out what they're going to wear. They arrive at the after party. Billy and Dice are at the after party. Mm-hmm. Billy gets to meet a movie producer.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and this was brutal, because the movie producer introduces himself to Billy and is like, I want to put you in a movie. And she's like, oh, great. Like, this is my producer, my boyfriend, Dice. And he's like, yeah, I've always dreamed about scoring movies. And the producer's like, maybe someday you will. Brutal!
Totally steamrolls Dice. It's so great.
Oh, great. She has another stripe of silver body paint on.
Oh, yeah. There's another point where she gets to meet that Raphael singer, and he says he's a big fan. She's like, oh my God, you're a fan? I'm a fan of you! Da, da, da.
He asks her, do you write your own stuff? And she said, you know, oh, sometimes. And so he says that they should collaborate and work together.
Yeah. Dice is there. He's super possessive of her, and he makes her leave. He makes her and Louise and Roxy all leave, get in the car. Yeah. He's drinking in the car. It's awkward.
At one point, he says to her, don't make me make a scene. And I'm like, make a fucking scene. Let's
make
go.
A fucking scene.
I'm not leaving. If you want to make a scene, let's have a fight right here, right now.
He's super, super threatened and jealous that Raphael wants to work with her. And he says Raphael wouldn't have asked if she'd been properly dressed. It's again, this, like, implying mind fuckery, slut shaming,
like policing what she wears, and like also it's not like her dress is like overly showy, and even if it was, that is entirely her prerogative to wear that, but also it just looks like a normal fucking dress. Like, calm down. Like it's a strapless dress and it ends at the knee. Like, Jesus Christ.
And it gets worse.
And it gets
the dialogue
worse.
Is so bad for the rest of the scene. Was this improv?
I don't
and
know.
Not good improv. Essentially, Dice picks a fight with Billy, with Roxy, with Louise.
He calls
them names. And it culminates with Louise. Yeah, he calls Louise fat.
And he calls Roxy roach,
Roxy
which
mouthy.
I hated.
Ultimately, Roxy and Louise have a sense. They're like, fuck this. They get out of the car.
This is New York. I can get the subway. I don't need to be in your limo.
Yeah. The subway was going to be faster.
Yeah.
And they're like, Billy, are you coming? And she stays in the car and looks kind of ashamed that she chooses to stay in the car. And they're like, fine.
Yeah.
And they walk away.
Cut back to the apartment. She's crying in the bathroom. He comes in and apologizes. And she says she loves him. Hated it.
She also says, what's happening to him? Like,
He's showing his true colors is what's happening.
Then there is a scene later that night. Billy leaves Dice's apartment in the middle of the night, which is in, I'm assuming this loft was like in Tribeca in the 80s, which like was not a residential neighborhood.
And it wasn't the safest of areas.
There's a park across the street where there's a lot of homeless people congregated in that who are awake, and
there's one woman who's singing very loudly, and she thinks that it might be her mom because she has a similar sounding voice. And so she like sort of follows her a little bit, and then we finally see the woman's face, and it's not her mom.
Okay, fair. Good to like lay on the thing that like she's really missing her mom and she's looking for her mom. What was the purpose of leaving the apartment?
Unclear.
Where was she going?
I don't know, but she comes back to the apartment with groceries. But I don't know if this
but
is
that's
another. Is that a different day? Okay, then
that's
I don't
a completely different day. Different costume change. She arrives another night back at the apartment with food for her and Dice. She calls out to him. She's like, "Remember, we're doing late night live tonight." Surprise, surprise, Dice isn't there, but Timothy
and
is there.
Ominous music begins.
Oh, he's there. She's like, "Where's Dice?" And he was like, "I thought you could tell me that." We get this ominous underscore.
Oh my god, this scoring is so good. So Timothy then tells her that Dice hasn't paid him, and then he threatens to hurt her if he doesn't get the money.
But she also knows nothing.
Yeah, she has no clue about their
She
deal.
does not know what the fuck Timothy's talking about.
Yeah.
He says he doesn't want to hurt her, but he will.
Yeah.
And tell Dice that he stopped by.
Right.
Cut to Dice coming in. I guess he was just like out also running an errand, or he hadn't gotten home yet.
Yeah.
She tells him Timothy was there, and she tells him that she knows about the deal and Timothy's threat. And Dice gets super macho angry man.
And so he goes out, and then there's a quick shot of Dice attacking Timothy and beating the shit out of him, and then police stopping them.
Getting caught by the police. Backstage at Late Night Live, the performance Billy has to be doing, she's in her dressing room, and she gets a call that Dice has been arrested. She leaves the show before she performs to bail this stupid boy out of jail.
It's ridiculous. So we cut to her and Dice and the publicist walking out of the jail, like surrounded by reporters outside of the precinct. And Billy turns out left without performing, and Timothy is in the hospital. And back at his apartment, he sort of like angrily apologizes, but it's not a real apology, and he still sort of blames her somehow. And she says she's over it, and so she goes to pack.
Yeah. She says she's calling it quits because he keeps tanking her career, and he says it's all about her, the superstar comes first, and she says, "Don't blame me for your failure." He says, "Just because you shake your ass and hit a few high notes, you're a superstar. Your mother would have been proud." And she slaps him.
Yes, she does.
And he gets up in her face.
And he looks like he's about to hit her, and so she walks to the door, and then there's the cat again!
He says, "I put everything on the line for you," and then the cat is back. Is it supposed to be the same cat?
I think it is!
We have not seen that cat since the foster home.
In which it was a kitten.
She leaves Dice in her heels with the cat. Imagine carrying Boogie around New York City.
I simply cannot. That sounds like, I mean, like, it's hard enough to get him around in his carrier.
Just in your arms. She goes back to her old apartment with Roxy and Louise.
And they just immediately accept her back.
She tells them that she left Dice, and they're like, "Okay, good, yeah, finally." And they invite her back in.
But she doesn't apologize for not sticking up for them, and that's what I hated. I'm like, apologize to your friends. Like, I left him, and I'm so sorry. And I would have accepted them accepting her back a lot better. Then there's a weird montage of her sleeping and him writing music. Anyway.
And also she, like, walks the streets sad. Billy gets to the record label without Dice, and surprise, surprise, Raphael is there.
Yes.
She's not super happy to see him. They end up recording a duet.
I don't like this song.
Oh, no, I don't like any of the songs in this movie.
The whisper chorus, that was the big thing. Like, both of their voices are good, but they have this whisper chorus that's doing all of the lyrics. And it's so weird.
I don't even remember that.
I was so distracted. Anyway, cut to later, she's apparently performing Madison Square Garden, and it's sold out.
She's sold out Madison Square Garden. She's a huge fucking hit.
Yeah.
Jack learns this by reading the newspaper in his apartment alone. Oh, god damn it. I wrote Jack. Dice learns this by reading the newspaper alone in his apartment.
Yes. So cut to Billy in her apartment. She calls Dice, but he doesn't answer. And so he goes to the piano and starts working on a song. And in her apartment, Billy's writing one, and it's the same song. I hated it.
question. When was caller ID invented?
That is a good question.
Because if he doesn't answer because he knows it's her, that's a different narrative than him just being too depressed to answer any phone calls.
Yeah.
And then not knowing it was her, and then she doesn't leave a message.
1987! So there was no caller ID.
This is pre-caller ID, so
he
it's
just
more of just like,
didn't answer a
he's
phone call.
too depressed. But yeah, they're both sad and start to write songs, and they coincidentally write the exact same song.
Derp, derp, derp. Anyway, cut to rehearsal for her show at the Madison Square Garden. She's emotional and, like, can't sing and
She throws a
walks out.
fit.
It's ridiculous. She goes to Dice's apartment and goes in and sees the song that he wrote and, like, plays a few notes and realizes that it's the same song that she wrote. And she also sees a ticket that he bought to her show.
Which is tonight.
Yes.
Side note, we see him walking around wherever he lives, so we know he's not home. He is in head-to-toe leather. She is also in leather. They are so sad in leather.
She ends up kissing the sheet music and, like, signs her initials or whatever, so then he knows that it's her. And then she leaves.
Just forgives him, ? And she leaves just as he arrives, and they miss each other.
Mm-hmm.
How they missed each other wearing so much leather, I don't know. But he gets home, he sees the lipstick kiss, and he's like, oh, my love. Later, he leaves his apartment, assumedly to go to Madison Square Garden. He gets jumped by Timothy. He starts to talk to Timothy and make amends, and then Timothy just shoots him.
Point blank in the chest, like, muzzle of the gun into the chest. Like, there is no avoiding that. So, cut to Madison Square Garden. Billy isn't there, and her entourage is freaking the fuck out, which I completely understand.
Yeah.
Also, her publicist is a little bit our waiter, of just, like, trying to do her job.
The publicist was my waiter.
Yeah.
The cab driver can be your waiter.
Fair enough.
Suddenly, there was a call to the dressing room in Madison Square Garden, and it's the news about Dice, and the publicist is like, turn on the news, and they turn on the TV, and of course, movie magic, it cuts right to a news report that gives you all the information that Dice was shot dead, and just then Billy is in the doorway, and that's how she learns Dice is dead. If that's how she learns, why was she late to Madison Square Garden? Because it would be one thing if she learned about it beforehand and she's like too distraught to go.
Right.
Was she just like stuck on the
subway.
NQR?
Yeah. She missed the A train and she had to take the local.
Oh my god.
I don't know why she was late. It's not explained. Anyway, so the audience is, like, chanting her name, and, like, the show starts. The dress she's wearing is gorgeous, but looks so difficult to move around in.
She can't walk. It's, like, little shuffling, and that's gonna come back
Shuffle
later. The show must go on, even though her boyfriend was just murdered. And the first song of the set is supposed to be Lover Boy, and, like, the band is already playing, and she gets on stage, she holds up her hand to tell the band to stop. They stop, and she tells the audience, never take anyone for granted, because you never know when you might lose them, and you might never get a chance to tell them how you really feel. And then she starts to sing
This is our pet peeve.
the brand new song
and the
that
band.
she and Dice were writing simultaneously, and somehow this entire band knows the song.
It's our pet peeve. Yep. So this is, like, one of the only songs that I felt actually showcased her voice. The rest of the songs, I felt like didn't actually show her to her full potential, or we didn't hear full songs. We just heard clips.
Yeah.
And this is the only true, full, like, 2.5 minute belting song. And this is what I expected to see more of in this. It's like you have Mariah Carey in a movie. She has a 5-octave range. You expect to see more songs that showcase her range, but it was the only one. So why?
To be honest, at this point in the film, I didn't give a shit about any songs.
That's fair.
You're absolutely right. It is the one that, like, truly showcases the power of her voice. I couldn't care anymore. After the show, she discovers in her dressing room that Dice sent a single, not posthumously.
No, he said
prior.
He had it set up prior.
Prior to his death, pre-death, Dice had sent a single rose
Free death.
with a letter. Posthumous. Prior strumus. I don't.
Good.
He sent a letter to her dressing room.
Before he died.
And it says that, hey, while you were out, social
Found
services
your mom.
called. They found your mom. She's sober. She lives in Maryland. And I can't wait to see you after your show.
Yeah. So she reads this while she's in the limo after her performance. And then somehow
And
this
she says,
limo
driver to Maryland.
Yeah, except for she doesn't. She doesn't say that. She just wakes up and this driver
Wakes
has
up and-
taken her to Maryland. Insane.
I'm assuming that she said that.
It's not shown, so it could very well be that
It's
the driver
not.
was just like, fuck it.
Question.
Yeah.
All right, so she's gone to Maryland
almost
in this
done.
limo. We're almost done. However, another gripe. Any theater people that have lasted this long into this episode will know that, like, when you are done with a show,
Mhm.
you get out of costume as goddamn quickly as you can.
man.
You put on sweatpants.
Uh-huh.
You take your wig off. You take
off
all
your
your
makeup.
false eyelashes off. She went straight from Madison Square Garden in her, like, tight ball gown
Mhm.
that you can't even walk in, let alone sit in
No.
for X number of hours in a limousine, to this farm where her mom now lives in Maryland. And she gets out, she can barely fucking walk on a flat stage, let alone on grassy farm. But she gets to this farm, and her mom comes out, and they recognize each other, and they embrace, and blah, 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 the end.
So, that's
Glitter.
they cry, they hug, it's the end. I don't know.
We watched it so you didn't have to.
Very similar to Babes in Toyland. We watched it so you didn't have to.
Honestly, if I had to choose between watching Glitter or Babes in Toyland, I would choose
I think I would
Babes
choose
in
Babes in
Toyland.
Toyland.
Which is,
Not saying much,
At
but it says
least-
something.
like, the thing about Babes in Toyland was that, like, it was absolutely fucking bonkers.
Uh-huh.
And I couldn't believe how long it was, but I didn't want to pluck my eyeballs out.
No. Anyway, I bet you can all guess what we thought of this movie.
Listen, it has a
6%.
6% on Rotten Tomatoes for a reason.
Yeah.
We are not on the Justice for Glitter train.
No.
But I'm not here to yuck anyone's yum.
Nope.
If other people want to love this movie,
I support
go
you.
right ahead.
I will not.
Grace, what'd you think of this movie?
I hated it. It was so bad.
Ugh.
It was incoherent. The plot was...
Can I go get wine now?
Yeah, do you want to pause and let's get wine?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we're back.
With wine.
And we have wine. All right. If you're still with us,
Welcome back. I hope you also have wine.
maybe we need a precursor
advisory.
being like, drinking is encouraged.
Yeah.
I didn't like this movie.
Nope.
Nope.
Dramaturgy?
You want to do some dramaturgy?
Yeah, I think we should.
All right. This is a fun fact. This was directed by Vondi Curtis Hall, who is an American actor, screenwriter, film, and TV director. He was initially a stage actor, and he originated the role of Marty, Jimmy Early's manager, in the Broadway production of Dreamgirls.
Oh!
He's also a full-time professor at NYU Tisch. Did you have him?
No, I would remember that name.
The cinematographer was Jeffrey Simpson, who is an Australian cinematographer, who has mostly done Australian films and, like, received critical praise for his work on Australian films, including Shine, Oscar and Lucinda, and an internationally beloved film, particularly loved by middle-class moms everywhere, Under the Tuscan Sun.
I'm going to talk a little bit about how the screenplay was made. This was mostly Mariah Carey. So in 97, she began working on a film and soundtrack project called All That Glitters. However, she was pressured by her record company at the time to release something else, and so she had to put it on hold. Later, she ended up switching record companies, and she was given full conceptual and creative control over the project. So she decided to record an album partly mixed with 1980s influenced disco in order to go with the film's setting, and they eventually changed the name from All That Glitters to just Glitter. Mariah Carey also developed the film's concept, which was later expanded on by Kate Lanier, and she said that they rewrote a lot of the screenplay on set and it came from improvisation. So, It was improv. So Kate Lanier is an American screenwriter best known for films like What's Love Gotta Do With It, Beauty Shop, The Mod Squad, and Set It Off. Now, for music and lyrics, it was mostly Mariah Carey, but with a lot of the other musical background stuff, it was helped out by Terrance Blanchard. So he is an American trumpeter and composer. He's composed more than 40 film scores and performed in more than 50 movies. He's been nominated for 2 Academy Awards, and he's won 5 Grammy Awards.
Fuck yeah.
So he did a lot of the background music, though of course the main songs were all Mariah Carey. Now, she started writing the songs for this soundtrack before it got a green light, and she admits that the project, when it was approved in 2000, she found songs for the movie that she had written and, like, forgotten about. She was only supposed to do 6 songs with other, like, working with other producers and writers and artists, but she ended up just writing a bunch more, and she almost did a song with Prince, but they missed the deadline.
Big Hamilton wrote the other 51 energy.
I couldn't find a lot about the casting of this, but I did want to talk a little bit about what Mariah Carey went through during the process of this, because it was a very trying time in her life. So just to give a little bit of context, I mean, we all know who she is, but she's a songwriter and singer known for her 5-octave vocal range and her whistle register. She rose to fame in 1990 with her debut album. She was the first artist to have her first 5 singles reach number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. She ended up changing her label and had a highly publicized physical and emotional breakdown in 2001 that was connected to the film.
Specifically, like, the press revolving around the film. Like,
Yes.
not reviews, but, like, paparazzi and, like, talk show appearances that she was doing to promote the film.
Glitter was a complete musical departure from any of her other stuff, and it focused heavily on disco, and, like, 1983, obviously it's when it was set. She began posting weird messages on her website and had some erratic behavior on some promotional outings. She posted stuff like, I'm trying to understand things in life right now. What I'd just like to do is take a break. I don't say this much, but I guess I don't take care of myself. So on July 26th, 2000, she was hospitalized, citing extreme exhaustion and physical and emotional breakdown, and she remained under doctor's care for 2 weeks. And this ended up delaying the release of the movie and the soundtrack.
I'll talk a little bit about reception and awards. At this point in the podcast, we would like to warn our listeners about a trigger warning for some upcoming discussions we're going to have regarding September 11th, 2001, and the resulting effect that had on the film's reception. If you would like to skip over that, please skip ahead to
1 hour, 4 minutes, 0 seconds.
And we will see you on the other side. So, with this film, the soundtrack was released before the film came out as a way to build up momentum, like Mariah Carey was really at her peak. The soundtrack was released on September 11th, 2001, and the movie was obviously being promoted because the movie was going to come out 10 days later. The movie was released in theaters on September 21st. It was a commercial failure. It cost $22 million to film, and it only grossed $4.2 million in the US. As you said before, Mariah Carey was admitted to a hospital for what she stated was extreme exhaustion during the press tour for this film. The film was originally scheduled to come out over Labor Day weekend, but it was pushed back 3 weeks because of her hospitalization, which means it wouldn't have been so closely associated with September 11th had there not been delays in the press junket. In an interview in 2010, Mariah Carey stated that she believed that the film's failure at the box office was largely due to the soundtrack's release date being on September 11th. Welcome back. Glitter has a 6% on Rotten Tomatoes based on 86 reviews, with an average score of 2.8 out of 10. The consensus states, quote-unquote, Glitter is a hodgepodge of movie cliches and bad acting that's sure to generate unintentional laughs. Ultimately, the movie is not bad enough to be good. The only awards this film was nominated for were Raspberry Awards and Stinker's Bad Movie Awards.
Oh no!
Do you have any moments of joy?
The cat.
The cat!
It's my only moment of joy. I just wanted to hear more of her singing.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of small gripes for this movie, but I think my big overarching gripe was that this was supposed to be a vehicle for her, and it didn't get her anywhere.
I have no moments of joy. I have...
Not a one!
My only moment of joy was that after I watched this, I got to FaceTime with you for an hour and a half.
Fair enough, fair enough.
As for gripes, my biggest gripe is that there was so much policing of Billy's outfits.
Yeah.
And Padma Lakshmi deserved better. And no single song was memorable for me.
No, I could not hum you a bar of any song.
No, couldn't do it.
Singing, we mentioned that. I just wanted more Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
And I wish the duet with her and Raphael, I wish the duet between them was better.
Agreed. Dancing, the only real dancing was like backup dancing. This was not a musical. This was a movie with music.
It wasn't a musical. And even the backup dancing wasn't great.
No, it wasn't great. Like, Roxy and Louise weren't necessarily supposed to be like amazing dancers, but they weren't bad. Yeah. And the dancers they replaced them with weren't much better.
No, I know. Yeah, it wasn't, is what I'm saying. It wasn't.
It was a film. That's just the overarching takeaway. This was a film.
Yeah. Got any fun facts?
We said my fun fact earlier, which was that the original cut of this film was 2.5 hours. And I definitely feel like there were some plot holes that were a result of that. Like, there were lines that were left in and did not follow through with any plot development.
My one fun fact is in November 2018, the album became a subject of a campaign by Mariah Carey fans as part of the build-up to her 15th studio album, Caution. It was promoted on social media with the hashtag Justice for Glitter, and the campaign resulted in the album reaching the number 1 on the iTunes albums charts in several countries, and the top 10 in several others, which is wild.
I think this is going to be potentially one of the first films that there are like super fans for that we didn't like. And I would just like to remind everyone that like this is just our opinion. We have no power over anything, and if you don't agree with us, like,
nope,
that's all right.
If you don't agree with us, send us an email and try and convince us.
No one has ever sent us an email. We're gonna just get a flood of glitter fans.
Of glitter fans, just like, this is why.
We welcome it. We welcome it.
Yeah, change my mind.
I have no homework for this. Other than, honestly,
shocking.
Alright, I take that back. Hey, how dare you? I thought about it. I know. I couldn't pull anything up until actually I have decided that my homework is Padma Lakshmi deserved more. Go read her memoir. It's really great. I think it's called Love, Loss, and What I Ate.
My homework is going to be an article about Terrance Howard's math beliefs. Because it is interesting.
Well,
anyway,
if you made it this far, we're proud of you.
Dear God, you have earned yourself a glass of wine.
This has been episode 17.
Mm-hmm.
Glitter. We watched it so you didn't have to.
Mm-hmm. We're available on all the podcast streaming places at 5678, a movie musical podcast.
We are also on all the social medias, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Follow us there at 5678, a movie musical podcast, for dramaturgical facts about current episodes and sneak peeks of upcoming episodes.
Yeah, and change our mind about glitter and send us an email at 5678, a movie musical podcast at gmail.com.
Oh, and that's all.
That is all
she wrote.
Yep.
I have been Anna.
I'm Grace, still.
This is 5678, a movie musical podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Goodbye.
5678.
There's no business like show business, like no business I know.